Hi there, my name is Diana Wilson and I'm with Jeffco Public Schools, and I'm here with your Now Boarding Report. In March, the board heard from the District Accountability Committee, which includes a Unified Improvement Plan. There's actually a law, the Education Accountability Act of 2009, which requires each Colorado school district and school to create an annual improvement plan. So all of our schools do improvement plans, and then our district has an improvement plan, and this has to be presented to the board every year for acceptance, and it's really a great way to measure what we're doing, where we're making an impact, where we need to improve. The Board of Education also approved some compensation agreements in March. In November, voters supported Jeffco Public Schools with both a mill levy override and a bond override, brought in more funding for schools, not only for capital improvements with the bond, but as well as our operating agreement. We committed to voters that half of the mill levy override would be dedicated to compensation. We have two associations that we negotiate with. One is JESPA, which is our classified employees, and the other is JCEA, which is our educators. Two agreements were approved that basically allocated half of the mill levy override funds that voters approved in November to go towards employee compensation. I should note, in staying with the promises to voters, no senior leadership was included in those raises, and that is only for this school year, still negotiating for next school year. The board also heard from a task force about adding learning time for teachers. So there's a lot going on in schools, a lot of new techniques, a lot of things we're trying to implement, and trying to find time for our teachers to learn how to best teach is sometimes tough. So there is a task force working on that, and they made a presentation to the board about possible either late start or early release on certain school days. The board voted to extend the superintendent's contract, so Dr. Glass has 5 years added to his contract. And even though we had a snow day in March, the board still got together to work on the 1920 budget and also hear a technology update, which included information on the infrastructure and how we bring IT to all of our schools and data management. In April, the board will hear about the Innovations Acceleration Fund. So this is a big deal because we actually allocated essentially grant money. It's a district budget, and anybody from the organization can apply to invest in an innovative project. So the grants really vary. I mean, you could get a grant for $500, you can get a grant for $5,000, you can get a grant for $50,000, so quite a wide range. But hearing how those funds have been allocated, what the plans are for the future, and also what their impact have been is what the board will hear about in April. The board will also discuss 6th grade transition from Denison Elementary School to Evelyn High School. Denison and Evelyn are option schools in Jeffco. All of our other schools that had middle schools that were just 7th to 8th are now 6th, 7th, and 8th, and we want to do the same thing at Denison and Evelyn for next school year. The board will hear about family and community engagement efforts, as well as our International Baccalaureate program. We have quite a few schools that use this worldwide program, which really focuses on teaching students to think critically and independently. So hearing an update on how those programs are going in our various schools and what impacts they're making on students. Also in April, the board will listen to a legislative update. This is important because the session wraps up in May. We really need to hear about anything that's going through the state that might impact public education in the future. That's all for our Now Boarding Report. I will see you again next month.